Welcome back to the Crypto ZX channel, to the Litecoin holders. Appreciate all the love. Let's get right in today's update. Really see what's happening with Litecoin's price and what we could be expecting as we are going further into this week. So looking across the board, again, if you're looking at the last 1 hour, we are seeing the broader market actually seeing quite a nice bounce. Again, if you're looking at it from a daily perspective, still some coins that are seeing a little bit of a retracement. Again, it kind of ties back to what we saw happened with Bitcoin over the last few hours. We saw a little bit of a retracement, but again, Litecoin is still up about 2.1%. Let's take a closer look at Litecoin and see what's really happening. But before we do that, as always, just a quick disclaimer, anything on this channel is not financial advice. Always do your own due diligence and research when you are investing in crypto. So you're looking at the price of Litecoin making its way back above the $100 price point, currently sitting at $101.38. It's still really far off to where it was prior to this major liquidation, but again, baby steps. Up 3.7% on the Bitcoin side of things as well, with the valuation approaching $7.9 billion dollars, and the 24-hour trading volume has been able to reclaim back above a billion. But what's really causing some excitement? Again, I'm sure you guys know at this point there's some breaking news. H bar is obviously feeling a lot of love because I think H bar was seeing quite large retracement, obviously due to the major liquidation. And I think in terms of a gain itself, it was higher on H bar based off of where it was sitting prior to this announcement. But if you don't know, again, in a few hours from now on, we're about to see history being made. We're about to see spot ETFs going live. That's not for Bitcoin and Ethereum, because Bitcoin and Ethereum already have the spot ETFs, but we're about to see other assets. And again, October was that month that a lot of people were eyeing, and it seems like it's happening. And to start off with, you're looking at HBAR along with Litecoin spot ETF on the Canary Capital side of things going live today, which again is a big, big moment for crypto in general. Whether you hold Litecoin or not, it is a very historic moment. But let's take a closer look and see what's happening with Litecoin. I'm going to briefly talk to you guys about the dominance, currently sitting at about 59.7%. I want you guys to focus on where we were just a few days back. On October 22nd, we were sitting at 60.10%. So since then, obviously, we have seen a decline. But again, if we were to zoom out and take a look at it from a September standpoint, we are far, far off. So again, that's where we want to be. But right now, Bitcoin kind of needs to stabilize itself. We have a big week. We need to kind of have this week ahead of us. I'm sorry, behind us, and then we'll kind of look at it from that point on. But again, BTC, $114,400 as we're recording this update. We did come up to 115. You can see for yourself, just below 115. We kind of got rejected at that key range, but again, starting off really strongly as we are going into Tuesday morning. So targets are, as to where we were yesterday. I still think that is a possibility for Bitcoin to reclaim back. But let's take a look at what's happening with Litecoin, because Litecoin had that major pullback as well. Again, every single coin was impacted, and Litecoin in specific came down to 52.9%. But again, there were very little people that were able to take advantage of this, because, like I said, this liquidation that did occur was like 5 minutes at most. And as we know, most of the centralized exchanges crashed. And again, this is a big topic in the crypto world. And obviously people want to focus more on decentralized platforms such as Aster, such as Hyperliquid, and such as Drift Protocol. There's so many now. But this is why people are focusing on decentralized exchanges, because of what happened with centralized exchanges the day of the liquidation. A lot of people's orders did not fill. So again, like I said, not many people were able to get in around this key range. But look at it for yourself. We were actually getting closer and closer for Litecoin to get back above the $150 key resistance, which we actually have not broken out of. And believe it or not, I know it's crazy to hear, we're still in the bear market cycle for Litecoin. Yes, that is correct. I know that is crazy to wrap your head around, but it's true. The last time the price of Litecoin was, above these key levels is back in 2021. Back in 2021, it's been quite some time. We're actually coming to the end of 2025, and the price has still not been able to go back above 150, with the ETF hype, with institutional demand coming in, and obviously the big treasury. There's two companies. One is a Canadian firm that is creating, the biggest Litecoin treasury. So again, they're going in the open market, and obviously buying Litecoin in a huge bulk. So obviously that's going to bring in excitement, and I think we were already starting to see that. We were sitting at $136 for LTC prior to this major retracement. But again, this retracement, no one can really control that. That's part of the game. This is why we focus on Bitcoin every single day. This is why we focus on the dominance, and these are factors that are not in our control. But the price of Litecoin has been able to make its way back into the 78.6 just briefly, but we did get rejected at that key range. But let's take a closer look and see what we're really looking at. So if you're looking at Litecoin, let's kind of go back down to October 17th. And this was an opportunity for people to actually accumulate at these levels. $83. If you were able to get in around that range, you're looking at about a 30% increase for LTC from that point on. And that's just in a week's time. And you can see for yourself, we did make our way into the 78.6. You can see for yourself, we came up to $107.48. But you can see for yourself, we do have some resistance at that range, and we got rejected, and we're kind of sitting right below the 78.6. But one thing I don't want you guys to forget is the fact that we are above this key support line at $96. If this was your confirmation, look at the increase itself, 11.23% since then. So I like what we're seeing here. Yes, we're nowhere near as to where we were prior to this retracement, but again, I do believe slowly but surely, Litecoin is going to make its way back up to these key levels much quicker than a lot of people are realizing. And again, with the ETF factor, I think this can really spark some interest. But first and foremost, we want to get back into the blue zone, which obviously we retested just a few hours back. But again, close. We need to see the close. We need to see that close. I've said this a lot, and that is something we want to see happening for Litecoin. Hopefully today, if it's able to do that, that would be a great sign as we do go further into this week. But yeah, that's something I want you guys to be looking out for right now. I do expect the support to hold, even if we were to see a little bit of a minor pullback, sell the news event taking place. That's a 10% pullback that would require, I think, BTC to not hold around these levels, maybe retest 112K key range. We might get closer to this key range, but again, if we are able to see Litecoin get that close that we're waiting for, I'm expecting, some of these $111 price points to be retested next. So again, one step at a time. Let me know in the comments what your personal thoughts are. Where do you see the price of Litecoin going? Are you bullish on Litecoin in the next 5, 10 years, or are you in it for the short term? Let me know your overall thoughts. Appreciate the love. Subscribe if you have not done so already. We'll see you later in Crypto ZX, and peace out.